Stop giving the game out before you know it. That needs to be a thing. Literally, y'all, it's no judgment. It's nothing towards you. I'm talking to me too, because God was just dealing with me. You see, we got big hearts. Speaking about this on TikTok earlier. Like, you got the type of heart that if you see a chair pushed away from a table, you'd be like, man, that chair don't need to be over there by itself. Bring that chair to this table. You got that kind of heart. You care about bugs. You think they got families. You're kind-hearted. And you're so kind-hearted that you want to put other people on. That's in your heart to do. You the main one talking about, man, when I make it, when I get there, when God bless me, I'm gonna. You're the main one doing that. So you got a giving heart. Nothing wrong with that. Don't never let the world change that. The only person that should be able to tell you not to give is God. Because he would tell you that sometimes, because you might end up blessing the person that he's trying to teach. But don't let the world change your heart. But I'm sitting here and I'm talking to God, and I have a problem with, as soon as I figure out some information, I'm trying to give it to people. As soon as I find out the site or the code or the hack, I'm trying to give it to people. But the thing is, we so quick to give it that we haven't learned it fully. You can't give them pros and cons because you didn't even fully try it yourself. You just know that they're doing that same thing and you want them to be able to be put on too. So it's like, hey, check this out. But before you give somebody something else, make sure that you at least know a little bit about it. I don't know everything. I don't know it all, but I tried it in this way and I know the pros and the cons. So take that, honor your spirit, and I hope this helps you either way. But we so quick to put people on without even thinking that it's like you don't even know what this is. You don't even like the person that told you about it no more. Now you got to sit back because you question that person's integrity. And you didn't pass this information on. Like, we got to fact check stuff. And it's crazy because even in this moment, I'm like, well, is it my job to do that? If I pass you on some good information, are you just going to go with it? You not going to do your research? You just going to try it out and just go off based off me? At the end, I understand. You trust me. You love me. You look up to me. We friends. We cool. That's my man. That's my boyfriend. Been together for years. It's my best friend. That's my mom. That's my dad. That's my brother. My sister. I really know them. I understand a lot of us feel that way, but we can't put nothing past nobody. And it's not because that person want to just be malicious. It's not because that person want to hurt you. It's not because of none of that. It's because we fight not against flesh and blood, and we have spiritual warfare. We're in it. It's spiritual. And if you don't know that now, I need you to know that. You see life a lot different. You wouldn't take things as personal. You'd pray more for people. You speak life over yourself more because, listen, we dealing with things that we can't see. Nor can we even understand it. We're only learning a glimpse of it. A glimpse. Even the people who are holding back certain information, they only know a glimpse. Okay? Listen. God will send you downloads about stuff that don't nobody down here know about. Nobody. Only he knows everything that we don't know. We only know a portion. A portion. And that's why we need him most. But you can't put nothing past nobody. That's why God said don't idolize nobody. That's why you're not supposed to put people in a position of God, because once you put them in that position in your life, you'll go with whatever they say do. You'll believe whatever they say. You'll go with the winds and the waves and the sea when it comes to them. You looking crazy, feeling crazy, and can't hear God at all. Constantly praying and asking God to show you. But you so busy looking at them that you're not even listening to what God is saying. You can't even see what sign he just sent you. And when he do send you one you can see, you still ignore it because you didn't put this person in his position. So you can't put nothing past nobody. And that's not me saying be paranoid about your family or your friends or who close to you. This is not no tarot reading. Okay? Y'all need to use spiritual discernment. A lot of us getting readings out here and we ain't even go back to God with it. Didn't pray before and didn't pray after. Didn't even pray during. You don't know what them people talking about. And yes, it resonates with you because we all are emotionally connected and tied in. What I'm feeling right now, how I can express myself, you can relate to it because that same emotion is in you and you're going through something the exact same but in a different scenario. We all connected. So a lot of things going to seem familiar, feel familiar, and be familiar. But that doesn't mean it's for you. Might not be the time. There's a season. There's a time and a place for everything. Might not be that time or that season for that message specifically. So you need to be able to use spiritual discernment and talk to the Most High. And I know that's like, I'm sorry. I've lived many different lives and I've done a lot of different things. And some people might say, what? I'm 25. But God allowed me to experience a different type of life, a life that I didn't understand why I was in and going through what I was going through when I was young. I didn't get it. I didn't understand, and it made me mad at God. I used to pray stuff like, Lord, please just let somebody come save us. Please just let somebody give my mom a check. Please just give me somebody I can look up to. Please. I used to pray prayers like that. I did not understand what I was in or why I was in it and why I still had a good heart after all of that. Still loving, still caring, still kind, still giving people the benefit of the doubt at my detriment. After all that's been done to me, I still got empathy. And I could not understand. I could not understand. And now, because of those very things that I've been through, those very things that I've experienced, I understand completely now. I understand completely now. My character was built in that. My faith was built in that. My mindset was built in that. Because God knew the times that we were going to be in, and He wanted me to be able to see so I could help the very people that are where I was see too. So that they can come to this position and we all can go through, because we don't got to stay in what we used to be in. We don't have to stay in that cycle. We don't have to stay in that place. I'm a living testament. I know you don't have to stay depressed. I know you don't have to stay angry. I know you don't have to stay sad. I know it. I've lived it. I've experienced it. And just because I've experienced it does not mean I don't have emotions. I still get caught up at times. And I have to look up to people who are in a higher position than me to be reminded that I can find peace. That love will come again. My heart will heal. That I can be happy. That I'm worth something. Sometimes we got to be reminded, but we all know it. It's in us. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to remind each other. So that the people, our children, people will never meet or know, can be reminded too, because we've been here in this very position many times in our life, feeling the exact same way, having the exact same conversations. So it's time for us to remember. And most importantly, remember whose we are. Who are you? Who created you? Who's been with you? The great I Am, He goes by many names, y'all. Don't get caught up in that. Because even sometimes when I speak, I'm like, well, what do I call Him? Or what do I say? I've called Him many things. People used to get mad at me when we started learning about our history and where we came from. People started getting mad at me that I said Jesus. Started tearing me down, saying I wasn't black because I said Jesus, and Jesus has gotten me through many nights. I know the Hebrew translation. I know it's Yeshua. I'm listening. I hear y'all. I get it. I want to know more, yes, because I want to honor Him in the most high way. But He hears me when I say Jesus too. It's Yeshua in English because the Bible is English. And just because we are reading a Bible that's English that was used to control us does not mean the words are not true. It does not mean that they don't have meaning. It does not mean that they won't come to pass. It's God's word regardless of what language you put it in. It's his instruction regardless of what language you put it in, no matter how you translate it. I found peace there. I found revelation there. I've been corrected there. I found love there. And even when I don't have it near me, even when I can't quote everything in it, I know the spirit there. I know it. So for everybody out there that be confused and you don't know what name to call upon the Most High God. He's known as Yahweh. Some people call him Jehovah Jireh. Some people say the great I am. Some people just say the source, the creator. He has a son. Some people call it the sun that's in the sky. Some people say it's Jesus. Some people say Yeshua. Many things. But what we cannot deny is his spirit. We know the difference. And this is spiritual. You know light and dark. You know God and not God. Regardless of what you're calling him. So where two or more people meet, God will surely be. So if we just get together and just be in the right frequency and connected to the right spirit, that's all that matters. Y'all know what the problem is? A lot of the problem with us passing on information is that if you fall out with the person that gave you the insight or the knowledge that you're passing on, you now have a blurred vision of them and their integrity and their character based upon what y'all emotionally are going through. But if you take the emotions out of it, if you take the offense out of it, if you take all the confusion out of it and you really look at things for what they are outside of everything else, you know a person's character and their integrity. You know that even though romantically y'all didn't click business-wise, they knew what they was talking about. They was on point. That's the only area in their life where you didn't even have to question them at all. Okay, so it's like we bring too much personal into business and into things, and I feel like this is why, and I can't even say this. Y'all, because y'all know they always be saying, well, you know, women bring too many emotions in business. I've seen men be in business and be emotional with each other too. They just don't tell each other. They just don't say nothing. They come home and tell us. We hear the kiki and the back and forth between them and the one that they really, really cool with outside of everybody else. They do the same things that we do. So it's not just women that bring emotion into business. Both parties do. They just handle their emotions differently. But with women, we blur the lines of the integrity. And I can't even say just with women. And this is the problem. We didn't been having this women against men conversation so much. We constantly measuring each other. It go both ways. The problem is you got to hold yourself accountable instead of pointing the finger at the other party because you was aware. You said yes at some point in time. You were sent your sign and your warning. You prayed on it enough. You seen it for what it was, and you continue out of your own free will to let it be that. So now you're scarred by whatever happened, and you stepping into life differently when the rules still apply, and it's the same thing, and it go both ways. Okay, so we got to get out of that. Anyways, self-accountability, y'all. We're tripping. Okay? And to cut out the whole women don't want to cook, women don't want to clean, women don't want to do this no more. Women just want a high-value man who wants a whole bunch of money. That's true in some areas and aspects, but you have to go back to the root of why that has become true. If you do not create a feminine space for a woman to be in, if the household does not make her want to be feminine, she's not going to be feminine. If you're bringing chaos and confusion home as a man, she got to worry about if you're being faithful, where you really at. Y'all done had so many situations where her trust has been broken and she's still staying down. She's still trying to believe you. She's still trying to see the good in you. And you created a toxic environment for her to feel like she has to go into her masculinity, checking your phone, running in and out the door, fighting you at this point. If she has to be in her masculine, she's not going to want to be in her feminine. The space has to be created, just like the space has to be created for a man to want to be masculine. If you constantly trying to carry the bags, open the door, check me, check the kids, don't even check yourself as much as you checking everybody else, you don't know boundaries or standards at all. So I have to tell you, that's a fight. Who want to be masculine? I want to be quiet because every time I talk, it's something. I can't even speak one word without past trauma, past hurt, past situation coming up in our bedroom when I'm just trying to help you and you fighting me and I'm not your enemy. I literally had an argument with one of my exes, and in the midst of the argument, he had to scream at me and say, I'm not your enemy. And it stopped me in my tracks and made me say, wow. I'm yelling at him, going back and forth with him. He got my best interest at heart. I'm not seeing that the people around me ain't no good. They not for me. They don't really like me. And they've been changing my movement. And it's affected him because he knows me who I really am. He knows me to my core and I'm tripping. But I'm not seeing that I'm tripping and he's trying to tell me. And now I'm feeling like, oh, you trying to control me? You think you my daddy? Because I got daddy issues. Now I'm taking that out on him and he had to stop and say, yo, like, I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. So we gotta really start just taking it back home to where stuff stems from. And we have to also hold ourselves accountable because they didn't do that to you. I understand it hurt. I get it completely. I'm a woman. I done been through some things and I'm still learning and growing myself to where I have to stop and say, I'm not completely healed yet. And that's why I keep responding to this man the way I'm responding to this man, because I'm not completely healed in this area. I want to be. But if I don't address it, then I'll continue to just want to be it and I'll never be healed in that area. We got to move different. That's all I'm saying. And we can't keep blaming each other. You have to hold yourself accountable first, because the same thing that you said they did to you, they can come back and say you did to them. We reciprocate energy, okay? Especially when you're in a relationship. We are petty. That tit for tat constantly. And if it's not tit for tat in a petty way, it's tit for tat in a, oh dang, like he bought that and I ate some of it, so I want to make sure, like, is that, oh, you, what? I'm pretty sure this man does not mind if you, what type of men you been with that don't even want to share with you, that you have to really be on edge and anxious about replacing something because they, we've never had boundaries or standards at all. Never knew them. Didn't even know how to spell them. That's how far away they were, because we grew up in survival. So everybody use everything, everybody do everything. It's everybody's. And sometimes people don't, ain't no consideration sometimes. It can get real savage in the house. Like, you ate this whole box by yourself and you didn't think about nobody else, and I'm the one who bought it, and you didn't even ask me not one time. I understand that you know I'm going to say yes, but you can't even consider me. We get savage in the house. So you take them same behaviors with you when you get in relationships, and it's just you with one person. You doing it with you and your friends. You doing it with you and your spouse. You doing it with you and your kids. You acting real selfish because you grew up in survival, so you're operating out of a scarce mindset. And because you grew up like that, and now you're trying to break them habits and them cycles, and you get in a relationship with a man or a woman who is healed in that area, who's operating in abundance, they're not operating in lack. They like, man, whatever you want to eat in there, eat it. I'm not going to trip because you ate the last one. I understand you being considerate. I get you. I appreciate it, but I'm not going to trip. I'm just going to get some more. But you never seen that. So you playing tit for tat, trying to make sure that you being really, you're not in survival mode no more. You live in abundance now. And I'm not saying don't be considerate. I'm just saying you don't have to overthink about it. And if you're around somebody where you have to, or you feel like it's going to be a problem, maybe you should sit down and reconsider that entire situation and also analyze and address if it's you. Because we quick to blame the other person. It'd be us. It'd be our trauma, our overthinking, and all of that. You got to rebuke them spirits, bind them, and cast them down and loose them. You got to tell them to go back to where they was created from. Not go back to the person that the enemy used in order for that spirit to attach itself to you. No, tell the spirit to go back to its creator. And let me say this, and then listen, if my sound quality changed as well as the picture quality, excuse it, okay? Charger, phone died, whatever. Does not have to be like that. I'm not finna get caught up. I was going on a tangent about the feminine environment and how, listen, if we don't have a feminine environment, why would we be feminine? Let me put that to the side right now and go back to this. Because women have settled so long, because we fell in love with potential, because of all of that, now women are at the point where they fed up. A lot of men be constantly calling women who are in their 30s miserable and stuck in their ways when they stuck in their ways too. And at the end of the day, the only reason why you're saying they're miserable or they're stuck in their ways is because their standards is super high now. They spent 30, not 30, they weren't 5, but you get it. They spent at least over 10 years. 10, 15 years they spent falling in love with potential. They spent not knowing how to deal with their trauma. They spent not knowing how to express themselves or properly receive love. They spent carrying on the cycle that overcompensating and people pleasing was love. And that's how you get a man and keep a man. They spent their life like that. So of course their standards are going to be crazy high. And that don't mean that they miserable. It just means that, hey, maybe we should practice patience. Hey, maybe we should practice empathy. Hey, maybe we should look in the mirror and look at ourselves because we're just as stuck in different areas. Okay? So listen, I went off on a tangent about the feminine environment. Let's talk about accountability and empathy. Let's talk about smoke and mirrors. Because a lot of us are quick to point the finger, but look in the mirror at yourself. Because the same thing that you're judging that person for, that age group for, them people, or your peers really, for, is the same thing that's in you. And, okay, I'm gonna go here. Listen, if you're young, if you're 25, if even lower, if you're in your prime, your 20s, people keep telling me you're 25, you're at your prime time. Like, this is the prime time. I'm like, okay, listen, I'm not going to let an age stop me. I'm going to keep going and keep trying. I don't care that you guys are saying I'm at my prime. I'm not finna stress out. Okay? Y'all already had me thinking I was old at 25. I was stressing about that. I'm not about to be the woman that's scared to be 30 and putting the balloons behind each other and saying, and smacking it like a baby. No. I'm proud of my age. I've lived a great life. And I will continue to. But let me tell you something.